a confirmed tornado with reports of damage.
Major damage with homes, cars.
A lot of people are just trying to get in touch with their loved ones.
Faulkner County and move it up possibly close to Valonia.
This is Channel 7 News Nightside.
Take the tornado precautions right now.
There are at least 6 fatalities confirmed in Faulkner County, at least 3 confirmed in Pulaski County from these deadly storms across the state tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Erin Hawley. It has been a dangerous night across central Arkansas. Storms are still threatening parts of the state, so we want to go straight to our weather team who's watching the threatening weather.
Yeah, Aaron, the good news right now, I think the worst is over with for much of the Channel 7 viewing area. We still have 2 tornado warnings which are in effect, and the state continues to be blanketed with a tornado watch, which is in effect for most of us until 11 o'clock tonight. But we still have a couple of tornado warnings, Barry, on our volumetric radar that are just on the edge of our viewing area. It has been a devastating night, and these have the potential to still cause quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, we're still seeing a strong hail core on our VRAD radar. A smaller area from Salado to Newark is still now under a brand new tornado warning. Actually, it was just the back edge of it was trimmed off. And then there's another one on up into Lawrence County. But this is the southern extent. These storms that are on the southern edge, like the one that went through southern Arkansas, or central Arkansas, are the ones that we have to watch. And so all the way from Salado, across the highway there, all the way to Newark, and on up into northern Jackson County eventually is where we're going to need to watch for tonight. Also getting reports now. This is the Entergy outage map, going all the way from western Pulaski County up through Mayflower, through Faulkner County and Valonia, and on up into the northeastern part of the state. Now we're getting reports, the summary says 15,000. That's the current from Entergy without power because of this system that came through. But we're still monitoring that storm that's in Independence County.
Let's give you an overview of the state on our 5 live Doppler radars, because right now most of the state looks to be rain-free. So really the brunt of the severe weather has been over north central Arkansas, actually starting in central Arkansas and Saline and Pulaski County. And that's the storm that we've been tracking most of the nighttime hours, and the storm that has produced the vast majority of the damage and unfortunately fatalities there. This gives you a kind of an overview of the strongest storms right now from northern sections of Independence County all the way up into Lawrence County, sections of Sharp County. We'll turn on the warnings, the active warnings that we have right now. And for central sections of Independence County, we do have until 10:15 that warning as it tracks toward the Jackson County area. Also from extreme northern sections of Independence County all the way through Lawrence County, another tornado warning. This is tracking toward the north-northeast at about 40 miles an hour. It looks like it's going to move to the east of the Cherokee Village area, which is a populated retirement community. It is moving east of that. And then we have a brand new tornado warning that was just in effect, and this is for northern sections of Randolph County, all the way up into Greene County, or Greene County into Clay County and eastern Randolph County. So that's the overview of what we've got going on right now as far as tornado warnings are concerned. And again, the rest of the state is in pretty good shape and hopefully will remain that way overnight. We are looking at a few strong storms along the Arkansas-Oklahoma border, but these are what we call linear and probably out just ahead of the dry line or cold front that'll be moving through tomorrow. And we could actually see some redevelopment of some strong to severe thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon, especially over eastern Arkansas. I know back of your mind.
Here's the map on our weather graphics computer. The tornado watch, which is in effect for all the counties you see shaded in green, that includes going to get extended. But as of right now, Pulaski County and for much of southern Arkansas, this is a tornado watch for all these counties until 11 o'clock, so we got a little less than an hour to go. Different here for northern Arkansas, this is a tornado watch that goes until 2 o'clock in the morning. And it looks like this is from mainly areas around Fort Smith over towards Clinton northward. And then you see the areas that have active severe thunderstorm warnings, as Ned was showing you, with Sebastian Crawford County until 11 o'clock, Franklin County until 11 o'clock. And then the tornado warnings, they're now getting out of the Channel 7 viewing area. Flash flooding has been an issue. Flash flood watch continues for much of central and northeastern Arkansas. Flash flood warnings for White County until 1 o'clock in the morning, Cleburne County, Independence County, and that extends into the northern portions of Arkansas. Again, that is until 1 o'clock in the morning, and you know it can cause a lot of damage, potential loss of life too when we're talking about flash flooding. So turn around, don't drown. That's what the National Weather Service says. Just to give you a forecast, the rain and thunderstorms coming to an end tonight. South winds strong, 64 degrees, and then tomorrow will be less active than today. But if there is any activity tomorrow, it's going to be across eastern Arkansas. And we
just got new information in.
Yeah.
This is from the Storm Prediction Center, and it says that a new tornado watch is likely going to be issued prior to 11 o'clock for much of Arkansas, west and central, because the main system, the thing that sparked all of this, is still back to the west. That boundary layer that's back to the west, and the front is sort of catching up with what we call a dry line. And so watch out for the possibility of a watch to be issued tonight before 11 o'clock. This is just in from the Storm Prediction Center. And this is going to blanket parts of central and western Arkansas, especially. It looks like that will go into the wee hours of the morning. Yeah. And again, but right now that line of thunderstorms looks like it is right. It's a line, and it's not showing any of those supercellular characteristics that we saw earlier tonight with that huge storm that blasted through western Pulaski County and through Mayflower and Valonia.
And we'll continue to be here to watch that unfold, and we're going to go back to Erin right now, and she's got some more news developing of all of the situations that have been occurring and are ongoing in the state. Erin?
Okay, guys, we'll continue to check in with you. Valonia was one of the towns directly in the storm's path, and we're told a triage center has been set up there. That's why where we find Channel 7's Jordan Bontke. Jordan, what can you tell us?
Well, I can't tell you much right now, but what I can is I can describe to you of what I'm around. Right over my left shoulder here is the triage center at the Valero. What I saw earlier, and I cannot confirm any fatalities, is I did see what appeared like feet that were outside of sheets. I've reached out to several people, and I've been shooed away trying to ask to see if there has been any fatalities, and they can't confirm any here. That being said, it looks like the town has been, some parts of it have been completely leveled. Again, over my left shoulder, I don't know if you can make it out, but there is a power line that's completely down. That has affected 107 and 64, and that's the intersection that's just over here to the left of me. The power completely out. A lot of the families that are being affected by this are gathering over here. With that, I asked if this town needed anything. Valonia, they've gone through this about 3 years ago. A lot of people are reminded about it. That being said, you know, they had said that some of the safe rooms that they were using that they've built since that 3-year anniversary, which I believe is around this time right here towards the end of April and now in May. But one thing they did relay to me is that they're trying their best to get first aid to these people, and it seems like a lot of people are hurt. I did speak with a public information officer who did tell me that in Valonia there is an incident command center at the fire station here, just right behind the McDonald's and the Valero. There's also at the Mayflower School gym, they're accepting people who are in need of first aid, and there's also a shelter at the Antioch Church in Conway. Again, we're trying our absolute best to get as much information out as possible so that we can get that on to you. And right now, I think the one thing this town needs is a lot of prayer. Erin?
I would agree. All right, we are hoping for the best for those folks and, of course, everyone affected. Let's go ahead and go back over to Todd in the Weather Center. Todd?
Erin, as you know, we have photojournalist and storm chaser Brian Enfinger here, and he has his drone. You've seen this video so many times here on Channel 7 News and on social media as well. And take a look at this. This is just to show you, this is unreal. I-40 on the left, this is Mayflower, and you see just the large path. You see people running through that damage right now. And this was earlier, but you see the people running through, probably trying to find things, find people. And the amazing thing to me, obviously you see what the tornado did. It just blew it. I think this is an RV park. It just blew cars. It blew semis off the road. You see people, if you look in the corner, in the bottom of your screen there, you can see people actually going through the wreckage. I guess it's hard for me to tell. That may be a semi. But I think he's zooming in there just a little bit with flashlights. I think I even see a dog, but they're going through the wreckage and probably trying to find people. And the person there on the right running, and they're trying to, who knows what they're trying to do, but they're Finding loved ones or friends or family through this wreckage as search and rescue continues in this area as they continue to search through the rubble. And look at all the semis that have been blown over. There's an RV park that apparently sustained a lot of damage. The path of this is just incredible. It's enormous. This is what we call a wedge tornado, where it's wider than it is tall, and that means it's a wedge tornado, at least 300-400 yards wide the way it looks right here. The other thing is, here in springtime in Arkansas, all the trees have their leaves on them now, and you can see they're completely stripped of all of their leaves and the foliage that had developed in the spring season. Then that just is a testament to the violent nature of this wedge tornado. What will it be rated, as if that's a point we see the damage, but right now what we know is that the National Weather Service is going to go and survey that damage. And what they're thinking right now is that it wasn't on the ground, that supercell thunderstorm tracked for more than 80 miles, but they don't think that it produced an 80-mile-long tornado. It probably produced multiple tornadoes, a very long-tracked one here in central Arkansas, but at some point it may have lifted off the ground a couple of times, so it will be counted as numerous tornadoes. But gauging from that damage, it's at least EF2, maybe EF3, and possibly even into the EF4 category, where we do have reports of multiple fatalities and injuries in that area. And the National Weather Service will survey it, but it's going to take probably tomorrow morning at sunrise, where they can go there and get a better scope of the damage. And let me tell you, there's a lot of damage that they're going to have to go through, so it may be a while before we know the full scope of how powerful that tornado was. Aaron? And
the damage you can see from that video is really just incredible. Mayflower is one of those towns that we've been showing you pictures from our viewers all evening, pictures and video showing the devastation that's happened there. Maureen Glisovic is there and has been talking to a resident there about what happened. Maureen.
Well, Aaron, here I have Andrew Mosley with me, who actually took cover as soon as he started getting the warnings. Now, Andrew, as soon as you heard the warnings, what was your immediate thought or reaction to do?
It really shook me up, because I'd been watching the Weather Channel pretty well all day, and I knew this thing was coming, but I didn't have no idea it was this close up on us. And with my phone, I got an emergency alert signal and a text message saying that it was coming. It was close to us, and it said, take cover. And by that time, it came on the Weather Channel on TV, said we need to take cover because it's in the Mayflower area. So,
where did you take cover? You went to your brother-in-law's house, right?
Yeah, I got my wife, and we took off to my brother-in-law's house, which is probably about half a mile from here. And we were down in the basement, and when we went to his basement, we could go to the back door and see it when it came over through the back of the house. And it was just, it was awesome. It was, scary looking.
Now, what were you, power lines?
Well, it's a lot of damage at my house, which is probably about half a block from here. And we finally got back up to the house, and I could get in my driveway, but that's far as I could get because there's a big tree up there about 3 feet in diameter. It snapped it off, across the yard and around. I don't want to go in there at night with those power lines down.
Absolutely. Have you talked to anyone? Do you know when you're going to be able to get back in your home? Or?
No, I hadn't talked to anyone yet about that, because the officials, they've been so busy out here that I didn't want to bother them and let them do what they had to do. So, but I'm hopeful that we can get back in there probably sometime tomorrow. There's still going to be a lot of trees and stuff down there that's got to be cleared.
But you guys were all, you managed to stay safe, and everybody was okay with you guys?
Yeah, we managed to be safe. We went to my brother-in-law's house and went in his basement, and that was the main thing, to get away from it.
How crazy was it when you opened that back door and saw that tornado coming through?
It was weird looking. I've seen one before, but I've never seen one like this one. It looked like it was probably about a mile wide. I mean, it just sweeping down like a big, what they call a wall cloud. It looked awful going. It was going northwest, going up toward Valonia, up in that area, and I was scared of it.
I'm sure you will. Well, we're so glad that you're safe. Thank you so much for joining us again. And Aaron, we managed to get some more footage up the ways here into Mayflower. I mean, houses are completely flattened. I know that there's a business down there. The roof has torn off. Across that business, I believe it was the Lumber One, or what used to be part of the Lumber One. Across from it, actually, a man and his wife had to duck down under a table. The entire front wall of their home just completely came tumbling down. There's a lot of flattened homes out that way in Mayflower, and like you said, a lot of fatalities are coming through for Pulaski County as well as Faulkner County here, so we're going to continue to stay here. I know that they were trying to manage the gas leak. Now they finally manage to get some type of base for authorities to actually get together, because a lot of these different departments and a lot of different authorities that are responding are on different radio wave channels there, so they're all kind of trying to assess the situation at this point and check out all the damage. But of course, we're going to continue to cover this and bring you the latest as this continues. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Maureen, those accounts we're hearing are really just chilling, and to help those who have been affected, we are now activating the Channel 7 Arkansas tornado relief drive along with the Red Cross. Anyone in the community who wants to give by credit card to help the tornado victims with their immediate needs can do so at KATV.com. Just look for the banner on the homepage, and you can select the option called Disaster Relief when you get to the Red Cross donation page. And all day Wednesday, we will have a telethon with volunteers here to answer phone calls for monetary donations. And if you'd like to call the Red Cross, their number is, of course, 1-800-RED-CROSS. Let's send it back over to the Weather Center now for an update, guys.
Okay, we've been keeping an eye on these storms, Aaron, and right now the severe threat is continuing across the state, but the only places experiencing severe weather is northeastern Arkansas. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings now just now getting issued in western Arkansas, and that's the one where the National Weather, or rather the Storm Prediction Center, is going to be issuing a new tornado watch, which will blanket much of the state once again all the way through the night. But right now it's just producing severe thunderstorms.
Well, all right, we're going to go to Scott Inman. Is he here? By the way, as that line moves in, it's probably going to remain a line most of the evening and most of the overnight hours. So it's questionable whether we're going to have an outbreak of tornadoes like we had earlier today. But just to play it safe, I think this Storm Prediction Center more than likely will issue this new watch tonight.
Exactly.
And Scott is. We're going to throw it to Scott. Is he available?
Okay, is he there? Okay, we'll get back to him as soon as we can. But just to give you an update, our 5 live Doppler radars on the latest watches and actually the warnings which are in effect. It looks like Lawrence County has tornado warning in effect. And far northeastern Arkansas, which is now
in Clay County.
Yeah, Clay County getting tornado warnings. But the new line of thunderstorms that's fired off of what we call the dry line, the separation between the dry air from the west and the very humid air coming from the Gulf of Mexico, has fired off more thunderstorms, and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings are now in effect for Scott County. This is also into effect for Sebastian, Crawford, on up into Logan, Franklin County, and into northwestern Arkansas. And this is going to affect, it looks like this is going to build across the northern half of the state. Now we have Scott Inman. Go ahead, Scott, where are you? What do you have?
Well, I'm here in Bologna, guys, and it's just been another awful night in central Arkansas. It's hard to believe that we're in Bologna again, very reminiscent of when it happened before, but we're right here in the heart of town at the corner of 64B and Highway 107. 107, of course, going back down into Little Rock, and 64 is the highway that goes right between BB and Conway, and Bologna right in the middle. And it's a very somewhat chaotic scene. Of course, the emergency personnel, and there are a lot of them, have things under control. There are dozens of fire trucks, sheriff's department vehicles, and police officers here working the scene. There is a triage behind me here set up at what is the Valero gas station and a McDonald's, and then the Fred's Pharmacy right over here to my right, where the command center is set up. And obviously this has been a very massive tornado that has struck. We cannot get to, nor can we see a lot of the damage right now. It's going to take tomorrow morning before we really know the extent of the damage, because we'll need sunlight to see it. I've seen helicopters overhead, cars racing back and forth. It's obviously not confined to just this one area. I want to bring in Jordan Bonnke. Jordan, of course, has been covering this, and he's been getting the latest information for us, Jordan.
Yeah, well, you know, when we got out here earlier, they were very strict with what they wanted to tell us.
Yeah.
But I did just get off the phone with David Hogue, and some very sad information in Arkansas today, and that's that there's been 3 confirmed deaths. That's 2 in Valognia and 1 in Mayflower. He also told me that these are reported deaths, unconfirmed. That's 9 more reported deaths, 8 in Mailer and 1 more in Valognia. So it looks like the damage is just colossal out here, and it's really affecting a lot of families.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan, thanks very much. I know you're going to get some more information. We'll be out here the remainder of the hour. We can remind you that we will be on until 11 o'clock with the latest news information, as well as I know Ned and Barry and Todd are keeping you updated on what's going there. And guys, really just strikes me as we send it back to you, it wasn't an outbreak that did this. This was one monster storm that just started way back on the south side of the Arkansas River, hit Mayflower, hit Vilonia on its way up into northeast Arkansas. And it looks right now that Faulkner County is the hardest hit tonight in central Arkansas. We'll send it back to you.
Scott, a really heartbreaking, almost unbelievable night here in central Arkansas. We'll be right back.
Channel 7 News Nightside, brought to you by Everett Buick GMC and by Havner Law Firm. Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air.
Welcome back. We have new reports coming in about damage from the storms. Alicia Dover joins us from Pulaski County on Canis Road. Alicia.
Aaron, Faulkner County, of course, feeling so much of this storm damage tonight, but right here in Pulaski County, there is also a lot of damage as well. As you can see right here behind me, power lines just completely down. A lot of the damage, crews are already coming in trying to clean up. Just to give you an idea of how strong these winds were, this is a road sign right here, just completely bent in half. It is really unbelievable, the scene right here, but it's also just a tiny, tiny part of the damage. The worst of it is actually right down the road here, where we have unfortunately heard that there are 3 fatalities that have been confirmed here in Pulaski County. I'm right here on the Pulaski-Saline County line, and both sheriff's offices are working very hard out here to go home to home, checking each one of these houses to make sure there are no more fatalities. Of course, they are hoping not to find any more, but I have heard that there are trees on multiple houses, and they are just working throughout the night to try to get into these homes and make sure there is no one else. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Pulaski County Sheriff here, Doc Holliday. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Just want to ask a little bit about what crews are doing right now.
Right now we're going through the damaged homes, trying to make sure that they are all clear. We're trying to make sure that we locate anyone who lived in this neighborhood and make sure they're all right. We do know that we have multiple fatalities, and we want to make sure that we clear all of the houses, and so that if there are other fatalities, we'll be able to find those. But right now it's a door-to-door process. We have multiple units from the Sheriff's Department, the West Pulaski Volunteer Fire Department, OEM from Pulaski County, and we're doing door-to-door searches.
And I understand, I've seen a lot of people out here just walking down the road. Some people just don't have a place to go. Is there a place for people to go out here?
Well, we are going to open up a relief center in Ferndale. I think it's going to be at Fern Cliff, just south of the four-way. One thing I do want to say is we have blocked off this road from the Saline County side and at the four-way at Ferndale. And if you don't live out here, you have no business trying to come and just see the sights. This is all for emergency personnel and people who live here, and we'll try our best to get them to their homes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I know you guys have a lot of work to do, and I'll let you go ahead and get back to that. Aaron, of course, there is still so much searching to be done out here, and we will, of course, have the very latest later on in the evening and, of course, on daybreak. Back to you.
Alicia, thank you. And, of course, folks out that way and across central Arkansas affected by power outages as well right now. Let's go back over to the Weather Center for the latest on those numbers, guys.
Yeah, we're getting big numbers in from Entergy and from the electric co-ops of Arkansas, and I'm looking just at the latest summary here.
And you can see exactly kind of the track of the storm.
Yes, nearly 15,000 out in the Entergy network and about 10,000 on the electric co-op. So this is 25,000 folks without power tonight, or customers without power, affecting a lot more people than that. But if you can see the area that we're looking at out in the western part of Pulaski County, south of Lake Maumelle, and then that area on the north side of Lake Maumelle, the Waterview subdivision, then over into River Plantation, 2,200 power outages there, and in Mayflower, on the around Lake Conway, 2,600 there. A number more just to the south of there, north of Camp Robinson, 1,400, and then on up into the Vilonia area, and we have, 1,200 outages there as well.
You can really tell the width of the track, because that also is probably a little wider there than what the actual width of the tornado.
Right.
But you can get a good idea of the scope of how wide this tornado was when it touched down. We saw it developing in Garland County, but then it put down that tornado, the first tornado in western Pulaski County near Ferndale, the Ferndale-Congo intersection, right in that area. And then it moved again up towards the Pinnacle Mountain area, right across into the Mayflower. Look how wide it is, and just missed Conway to the south. And then it lifted up off the ground, apparently, and then sat back down on the ground a little bit further along. So you can see it was on the ground continuously for quite some time, and then tracked into northeastern Arkansas. And we have actual video and pictures of the tornado. Barry?
Yeah, we have. I'm going to go through all the pictures that I've taken off of social media and I've saved here, and we're going to be portraying them up here. But if you look here, this is an area around Mayflower, and you can see just the width of this storm as it was out into the western part of the county, and then some devastation around the Mayflower area there. Just a horrible, horrible scene. This one taken from Maumelle, and this is looking northwest toward Mayflower, and even though it's at a distance, it's such a large, large storm. We're also getting other photos in of just the scope of how large this supercell was. This was a storm chaser vehicle in Mayflower. This, an area around the River Plantation area. A lot of houses just devastated there. Again, that picture of that chaser vehicle. And this too, a picture of the tornado itself, and then another little vortex around it. So some of these could have been very well multiple vortex ones. This one is maybe the most prolific shot that I see, looking across the river, very near that River Plantation subdivision. So wide was this wedge tornado as it came on down. And that's why I think there's going to be such strong damage and such wide path of damage as we take a look at this. But we're starting to get a lot more of those pictures in. If you have video or tornado pictures, still images, you can upload them via Twitter or Facebook. I'm at KATV Barry, at KATV_weather. You can send those to, or to our email address, photo@katv.com, and we'll have a lot more of those to pass along to you. Don't endanger yourself, though, to send those to us. Todd and Ned.
It's amazing when you look at the power outages that Todd was showing you just a few moments ago. You can see what Barry was talking about, how wide the damage path may be from the storm. And also, it's going to take a very long time probably to get a lot of people's power back.
We know the minimum track, the length of time, again, all that damage came from one storm. And we know that it was that storm tracked a minimum of 80 miles and probably well over 100 miles from where it started in Garland County and went up into northeastern Arkansas. And again, the way the Weather Service does this, they're going to look at this and it's going to have multiple tornadoes, even though it just came from one storm. But it touched down and stayed on the ground for quite some time in Pulaski and Faulkner and White County. It came up off the ground and will be counted multiple times.
And the good news right now, Todd, is for the first time since 7 o'clock tonight, we have no tornado warnings in effect.
That's right.
So the worst is over for now. There are some thunderstorms coming into western Arkansas that may march across north central Arkansas overnight.
We're going to have more here from the Weather Center on the forecast in just a few minutes, but we need to send it to Aaron.
All right, guys, thank you. And we will have the latest reports in just a minute when we come back.